I've got two. In fact, 39% of U.S. households have at least one dog, according to the Humane Society of the United States. And in fact, their population last year was 74.8 million. That's an awful lot of dogs that we have. But every one of them originated from wolves, were domesticated by man, and have been around to serve our needs. I will discuss with you today the origin of the domestic dog. We'll follow with a brief history, and I will conclude with the bonds we have today. Let's begin with a how, where, and when of dog domestication. For Dr. Sokol, present board member of the International Society of Anthrozoology and editor of the book titled The Domestic Dog, published in 95, points out that skeletal remains have been found around the globe. However, these are only a handful. They number in the hundreds. In addition, it's difficult to pinpoint the when and where, because we tended to live in nomadic clans, which meant we moved from place to place. In addition, wolves vary globally, so it's very difficult to find out the exact genetic position. However, Dr. Salaranian wrote an article titled Genetic Evidence for an East Asian Origin of Domestic Dogs, published in Science magazine in 2002, points out that today there's a larger genetic variation for dogs in Asia, meaning that it's probable that that is where they originated, but it's only a hypothesis, so we can't confirm that at this time. Now I'll move forward to how. Again, I'll refer to Dr. Serpel. He states that wolves were eaten as a food source. Occasionally a pup would be carried around for later use. Now if that pup was tamed, it would share meals instead of becoming meal. And as it stayed with us, each generation became more and more tamed. That's where I believe the human-animal bond begins. We realized that dogs were more than simply a food source for us. So let me move forward in time now to ancient Rome and early America. As our subsistence behaviors changed from hunter-gatherers to settled agriculturists and pastoralists, our dogs settled in beside us. Their roles expanded to include herding and guarding of livestock. In the Encyclopedia of Dogs, written by Dr. Fogel in 2009, he refers to an ancient text titled De Re Rustica. In it, he points out that a gentleman called Marcus Varus, who was a famous philosopher and writer in his time, states the importance of having a well-bred dog to a well-run farm in the Roman Empire. He goes so far as to explain where to buy them, whom to buy them from, what to look for in them, how to breed them, and how to train them. It seems dogs played a major role within farming in ancient Rome. And actually two of our founding fathers took Varro's advice. That would be Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. Per A. Fernandez's article, Our Founding Canines, published in Dog World in 2007, Washington was not only dedicated to our country, but to breeding a superior hunting dog. In fact, he bred foxhounds, the American foxhound, and established a kennel for them in 1758. A few decades later, when America was just getting a foothold in the wool industry, he realized his hunting dogs were not good sheep herding dogs. So he asked his friends in Europe for assistance. It was Thomas Jefferson who came through. According to A. Fernandez, in the same article, Thomas Jefferson was a bit of an eccentric. He would wander through the countryside, knocking on peasants' doors, asking if he could see their working dogs. He became very much imbued with a sheep herding dog, so that when the opportunity came for him to become America's first Secretary of State, he began a frenzied search for sheepdogs to bring back with him to America. He was successful, and in fact so successful that he bred them for 30 years. And now we'll move forward again to the dogs of today. Dogs play various and many roles today, but all those roles are big business. Dogs are big business. In fact, according to the World Watch Institute report in 2007, U.S. sales of the pet industry were $40 billion. That's a B. We must value our dogs. Another company called Packed Facts a market research company, with clients such as Disney, Procter, and Hershey, report to the National Retail Foundation posted a mere rise in 2008, last year, of 1.4% total retail sales. Yet, if we look at the pet industry, they went up as much as 16%. We value our dogs. Do you buy pet accessories like these? How about your dog? Any of you have a pedigree dog? Then you know they go for quite a bit, just to buy them. In fact, the world's most expensive dog just sold last month. And according to E. Eimer from Telegraph Co. News of the UK, the price was an astounding $557. One dog. Thought you might want to see him. Mm-hmm. 550. Would you spend $500,000 on a dog? No. Why would you spend that amount of money?
Just do laundry?
She must really value her dog. Well, we do too. In fact, we spend billions on them. So let me quickly review. If I can get some saliva in my mouth. Okay, I took you back to prehistoric times when we ate them. We slowly tamed them to become our hunting dogs and companions. Then we moved to ancient Rome and early America, where they became guard and herding dogs. And we fast forwarded to today, and the pet industry's interest in our human bonds, and of course the bottom line, our money. But what I really hope is that the time I've spent with you, you're able to answer this question: how do we get from wolf to wolf? All right, off the record, if you're interested in understanding or learning more about the physiological and physical changes that occurred, since 1940, they've been doing a report in Russia on foxes, and it is a 3-minute video on YouTube. It's amazing, and it explains to you how physiologically they change, depending if they're breeding tamer and tamer and tamer wolves.